July 17th, 2025. So it's July 17th, 2025. I'll just show you here. Oh, they're making me take pictures of my phone, so there, we got you. Got you guys. Got you terrorists. Got you. You can see me getting wrinkled on film right here, and then my wrinkles disappeared. And how many shots is it gonna take? So I'm not even aware how the camera is able to do this. Christian Erik, Meyer. So I just took a bunch of. Okay, so there we go. July 17, 2025. Individuals through brain-computer interface, the government pretending to be Christian Erik, Meyer. Right here, that's subliminal Gauss reading or Tesla reading. And then, what does this say? While I wrote that, that's who pretended to be me. And then, when they follow my directive, Christian Erik, Meyer, that's what happens. And, here's the defamation of character, people, lawsuit for lies against Christian Erik, Meyer right there. And crimes they try to hide through Christian Erik, Meyer right here. A blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy. And compounds and poisons Canada and terrorists use against Christian Erik, Meyer right there. And initiating those maneuvers. So once again, it shows that I, Christian Erik, Meyer, run the system. And, oh, there we go. They're making me take many pictures. So I got to figure out how to stop this. So how do I... You know what, that might be how to do it. So anyways, you can see here, I'll just play a video here showing how this is, you can see that this is my cell phone app. And so this cell phone app doesn't have any wrinkle filters. So I'm going to go to, this is I'm going to go and play this video here. And it shows, well, I guess I forgot to put this in my last video. So you can see here in May how I have a scar right there when my face was angled right there. They've possibly made the scar return, but you can see here how I don't have that scar on my face anymore and when this video was made. So this video was May 27, 2025. And this video was, let's see when this was June 3rd, 2025. So that scar disappeared on my face. And so I'll just show you here. You can see how the scar is on what looks like a spider on my hand. And then I'll show you a picture from today and how the scar changed. You can see now there's an edge, it goes down. There's an edge there in the scar, and that's how the scar morphed on my body. And this is, once again, my name is Christian Erik, Meyer. When I said morphed on my body, somebody pretended to be me. You know, that's who pretended to be me. I'm Christian Erik, Meyer. So July 17, 2025 at 9:39 a.m. And this was in May. This was May 27th, 2025 at 4:19 p.m. So you can see that it changed. And so I'm going to play a video, a 19-second long video, and it shows, this is from my cell phone app camera, and there's no wrinkle technology or filter that comes with, this is a TCL phone, and no wrinkle filter comes with the cell phone app camera. So look, you can see how I got wrinkled right there, then watch this. See how it disappeared? That's our evolutionary DNA. I love you. Jeez, Smolder, fantastic junior. Look, the wrinkles came back and they go like this. And then, watch. So basically, Canada has a system where they profile people. So they put a Gauss or Tesla reading, a magnetic field on surfaces. So I had to walk around the room to unregister myself, and then the wrinkles disappeared. And then they're gone. So look, you can see how I got wrinkled right there. Then watch this. So now, like that was with, so I'll just show you here. I'll just show you what this is, because you know, I mentioned it to a doctor today, and they're like, "Oh, is there a filter on there?" There's no filter. So about phone. So I just want to find out the type of phone it is, and I'm just gonna pause it because I don't want to show my phone number. So I can show you that because it doesn't show my phone number. So anyways, you can see how it's a T432J phone. So T432J phone. So that was this individual right there. She uses brain-computer interface to hijack and make me make that typo to try to hide their culpability through me. Does the T, again, they tried to, right there, TCL 432J phone. So there was something else in front of it. What was the other one? It was T432J. That's what I thought. Does the T432J have a wrinkle filter? I'm trying to add one subliminally right now, and it doesn't add one. So I have a wrinkle filter on the camera app. It's going to say no because it doesn't. The TCL 502 model T432J does not have a dedicated wrinkle filter in the camera app, according to the product information. While it features a 5 megapixel main camera and other basic functionalities, it does not include a wrinkle filter feature that is sometimes found in more advanced camera apps. So it doesn't. And I'll just show you the file folder now, and to prove that this image is from so when I go to information, it's going to show that this is right here. This is going to prove that this file right here is going to prove that this is from the camera app right here. This is all this is from the camera app right there. This proves that there is no wrinkle filter. There's no different software. Like if I'll take a screenshot, and the TCL 502 T432J, this is how the video file would look. And you can tell that this isn't edited by another outsourced source. Now I'll show you another video from, I use MobiZen. It's this rectical here, and so we'll see if that does. So they try to lie and do whatever they can to hide their lies. Does the MobiZen have a wrinkle filter in their app? Does the MobiZen have a wrinkle filter in their screen recorder? I'll put in their screen recorder. MobiZen's a screen recorder. No, MobiZen recorder does not have a wrinkle filter in its screen recording or editing feature. MobiZen focuses on caption, providing basic editing tools for screen recording rather than applying cosmetic filters like wrinkle reduction. So this proves that I haven't used any software to enable myself with these capabilities, because if you look on this video that I'm going to play, you're going to see the MobiZen rectical, right? So you're going to see this right here. So that means that I had a screen recorder, and you can't have two different overlaying apps that are always on top. But look, I don't think you can. We'll just search online, because I do make sure that I have all the most up-to-date information. So does the TCL 502 T432J allow more than one always on top application to run simultaneously. So once again, the same perpetrator. She's an assistant to Dr. Ogbonna. She's a PhD candidate in East England. So let's see. So she's brain-computer interface. And with brain-computer interface, okay, so it does not, TCL 502 smartphone does not support the concept always on top in the same way desktop operating systems might. However, it does offer features like split screen, multi-window, and pop-up view that allows multiple applications to be used on the screen simultaneously, giving a similar effect. So here's the breakdown. So anyways, you don't see that it's not like the app is going to be running at the same time as well, I probably have it in my MobiZen anyways. I'll probably have it in my MobiZen. So I'll just show you here that I have it in my MobiZen, so I'll be able to show that it was, actually I'll do it this way. I'll show you that it's this way. So I'll go to this. So where's the MobiZen folder? There's the MobiZen folder. So it should be very easy to find the picture or the video I'm talking about here. Because it's more than likely a short video. So I'm just going to see what this one is here.
So once again, I disconnect fat, ugly, and good-looking and skinny people from me.
So you can see
my jaw's looking a little thicker in this video.
So you can see how I try to disconnect human hijackers with that use brain-computer interface, and how my micro-expressions changed on my body when I did this. And you can see here when I go to info that this is a MobiZen folder file, and it doesn't allow any other additional capabilities that would allow this to happen. Right, so this is basically people using brain-computer interface to commandeer my human body. So now let's see, I have another video. It's should be very short. So it's probably might be, was it that one? I just played the 15-second one. No, I played the 14-second one. So let's see what this one is.
And regarding Meyer, I have evolved human biology. I'm just going to show you some videos here that produce accordingly that it is such that I do. And I'm going to make a new one.
So that one, my face did change my micro expressions. So I'm just going to try to find one that I uploaded onto YouTube here. So I'm just going to look for the thumbnail, how it looks on YouTube, and then I'll go to my MobiZen and see what it looks like. So all my videos, if you go to Christian Meyer 1977, I have playlists, and the playlist I have BLC18 keeps me anonymous. It shows how talented I am, and then the odd occurrences that happen to my body, and then proof, and then some watch later, and then how all the technology that's required to hack the human body, and then a bunch of old music. So under the proof section, I just want to see how long. So 28 seconds forever young. So I have my face, and it's from 2 weeks ago. So I'm touching my face. So it's 28 seconds long. So let's see if I deleted the file or not. So I'm touching my face. So June, so that's, no, it wouldn't be in June, that would be in July. And, so I may have deleted the folder, pardon me, the file here. And, so this is strange, where is it? So is it this one?
So it's July 2nd, 2025. The Canadian government kept me in the hospital for perceived mental health issues, even though I get anxiety because I'm getting violated by the Canadian government. Here's all the crimes that the Canadian government did to me since I've been born, and here's all the crimes that the world has done to me since I've been born. So goodbye GDP, goodbye GDP, bye
Goodbye, GD. Okay, so I think I'm going to pause it because...
So it's July 2nd, 2025, the Canadian government
goodbye,
warned.
GDP. I think they get rid
And there's other crimes that the world's done to me. So goodbye, GDP. Goodbye, GDP. Bye, GDP. Canada, bye, Canadian GDP. Think impoverishment. For attempt to reach inside all the time, motherfuckers. So it's July 2nd, 2025.
I did get wrinkled in on film there, but I didn't disconnect the perpetrators. Because I like to go by the moniker Smarticus. And, okay, so this wrinkle, this one right here, let's see. There's that. This is strange. I don't have it. But, well, I guess I could show this video here. This video shows that I have, how I have evolved human biology. So once again, look at the pectoral muscles right there. No man on the planet has those ridges on their pectoral muscles, and there's no editing features with the screen recording capability. So this is going to show that I have evolved human biology. This is why the Canadian government they put fat compound in my food to make me gain weight, so I can't show my evolved pectoral muscles. You can see when I flex my pectoral muscle, you can see how far up the pectoral muscle ripples.
You can see I have two different muscles.
See how it goes all the way up there.
I got a pec here, then I got another muscle right here. So it's irrefutable that I don't have evolved biology. Here's
This is my xiphoid process. And there's my sternum right there. There's my xiphoid process. And nobody has a xiphoid process that sticks out like that. I'll try to find a video online with a protruding xiphoid process. So you can see if you were to look at male pectoral muscles, they don't ripple all the way up. Their pectoral muscle like they did on mine. They only go up about halfway.
Xiphoid process. And I got unique back muscles. The Canadian government exploits me. I see my balls in color. They're denying me an X-ray, an ultrasound, and a positron emission tomography. They augmented my penis when I was an infant to justify raping me.
So they use brain-computer interface. So when you get circumcised, they take the skin, the foreskin off your penis. But with me, they tapered my penis, and I have a scar the entire length of my penis from when they gave me a circumcision. My mom wasn't aware of this clearly, because why would she was a young mom. My mom was only 17 when I was a baby, right? So when I was born, so she was young, so she was naive, and she did have one other kid, but she had a daughter, right? So I was her first son, so she would have been I would have went to the hospital, and she would have thought that was the normal protocol. But if not, my mom would have sued the hospital for mutilating her son's penis. So anyways, let's see. So I'm going to show you this one right here. Well, first of all, I said I would show you the protruding xiphoid process to show, because they're saying that I have schizoaffective disorder, and that means that I have hallucinations, delusions, and disorganized thinking, that I don't think linearly. But you see through all my videos, I do think linearly, and but like anybody, I do forget at times, right? Because I see a new picture, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm scrolling down, there's a picture, I'll add this at that particular moment. Protruding xiphoid process. Christian Erik Arne Meyer likes to go by the moniker Smarticus, and he likes to call Dr. Ogbonna Stupido. Stupido, who suffers from foliosis because he is a fool. The protruding xiphoid is the cartilage projection at the bottom of the sternum. It could be normal variant that or cause pain and discomfort in well, it is often normal anatomical variation, particularly in men. It can also be a source of concern when it comes painful. I've never seen one. I want to see images. They're not showing me images like I showed you. You won't see one that looks like mine. So there's one that looks different than mine. You won't see, well, this one might. That one, it's hard to say. That one, like, no, these look different. Those stick out differently than mine. Those stick out differently than mine. And so anyways, so now I'll show you pectoral muscles dance, flexing pectoral muscles. So I'm just gonna type in dance so they do that. So did they make me? Oh no, I thought they made me type in DIANCE. They didn't. The brain-computer interface. Basically, with brain-computer interface, you're with nanotechnology, with biomolecular communication, you're able to encode the signal because people are conductive. We're made up of water mainly, and conductive items could, as long as you have the right algorithm or key or source, you're able to encode a signal, which could be a sound or image, and then decode that sound or image. And with nanotechnology, biomolecular communication. So that's a fancy way of saying that they're able to transmit and receive sounds or images from a human brain. So they could, like almost like a radio station, they could phone in a radio station, and they could listen to your thoughts or implant a thought. Or they could implant sounds. Like they implanted an image of my mom. Like here's the image right there. They implanted an image when I was inside my mom's stomach there. I just showed it subliminally when she was 6 months pregnant with me on her way to Denmark. So pectoral muscle dance. Pectoral muscle dancing. Men. I don't want some nudity on here. So let's see shorts. Okay, so they're trying to how to bounce your chest and do it. Okay, why are they making it difficult? Just show me one. This guy's incredibly ripped, so let's see what this. See how it clearly didn't go up as high as my muscle did in that video. So I'll just show you another one here. Okay, so men posing and pec bounce. Let's see. This guy's in shirtless. Let's see. I'm gonna be shirtless so I can see the different shirtless men. Pectoral bounce. You'll see that it doesn't go nowhere near as high as my pectoral muscle does. So here we go. Huge. Gets like the oiled up. So let's see him flex. That guy looks like he's an AI version of a human. Okay, there's that guy. There's all these guys. These guys have basically breasts. They're not pectoral muscles. Like, let's see. Okay, they're not showing it. So I'll just go back to my Mobizen because I do have a video of another guy showing a Generation 1 biology pectoral muscle dance. They always try to, especially now I found with the Google AI overview, it gives you incorrect information over a period of time. Like I was able to, like if you ask it certain things, like I'm like, okay, well, when did they come up with the concept egg before the chicken? So I got 3 different answers from the history. It used to be accurate. Like if I used to be able to go to my history and then I get the same website when I first checked, but now I get different information when I go to the AI overview. But I did use AI overview to prove that because when I put in a first search, I'm like, well, are they able to communicate with nanotechnology? And then they're like, well, no, it seems like a fascinating area of research and blah, blah, blah. But then once I phrased it a certain way, I was able to get the internet to tell me that it is possible with biomolecular communication to be able to communicate, encode and decode a signal. So encode, once again, is transmit, and decode would be receive. And I'll just show you after this that computer-assisted telepathy YouTube is possible. There's an 8-minute video where they're able to influence a yes/no decision. So if you can influence a yes/no decision, you can make people buy certain products. You can make them buy a house or a car that they didn't want to buy, and you can make them interested in a woman or man that they're not interested in by activating the yes signal in their brain. Right. So I call it life raping. So it's just going to take me a while to find this here. But I know I have the video. So I didn't post these on my, how Bill C-18 keeps me anonymous. I created a new form of movies in 2018. I call them GIF movies. I have a bunch of GIF movies that I string together, and I make a funny video out of them. But it would have been a new form for videos, and But the government suppresses me with Bill C-18. They encode software like subliminal, like child porn and what have you, to my images, and to prevent me from being famous. And I'm totally against child porn. That's why I showed you the subliminal, is to try to get people that utilize child porn and bestiality. And they also say I have hate propaganda. So those are the two criteria to restrict somebody for Bill C-18. And they do this to justify violating me and keeping me poor and anonymous. I once doubled my money on the stock market in 16 days. And so you can see right there. So you could automatically see that this guy can only flex his pectoral muscle halfway.
So I'll just show you again this pectoral dance. And
it only goes halfway compared to how...
You see how the pectoral is different than mine.
So once again, you can see how it went up only halfway. So now I'm going to go back to that other video that I had, if I can find it again. Which folder was it in? Oh, hopefully, yeah, they left it open. Nice. So now I should be able to see my pectoral here at the bottom, right here, and you'll see how far up when I flex. Look how high up when I flex it. It goes all the way up to my shoulder almost. So you can see how high up it is compared to the average human biology. So once again, I showed how I have different different musculature than the average human biology. This is me adjusting the testosterone in my brain, and you can see when I do it, this part of my lip goes up slightly, and then when I adjust the estrogen, this part of my lip goes up. Now I'm gonna change this with my larynx, right in my voice box, and if you were to feel my larynx, you would feel the reverberation, you'd feel it shaking, because I'm actually changing the sound in my voice box compared to when I'm changing up here. Look how my mouth has to articulate differently. So if they were to use a positron emission tomography or a computed tomography test, possibly, or a CAT scan, they would show that I'm able to adjust the chemicals in my brain without any interference, basically without any computer-assisted telepathy or anything like that. So that was one thing I also mentioned, how I was going to show you how computer-assisted telepathy is possible. Like, you do have to, you can, I looked on when ChatGPT came out last year, and I started asking it questions, and then it wouldn't answer me. So I'm like, are you does the CIA run you? Are you funded by the CIA? So this video right here, when you go computer assisted telepathy YouTube under videos, you can watch this video. It's an 8-minute video, and without non-organic, they do try to recruit people, so don't be recruited. So look right here to be non-recruited and get all human perpetrators that use brain computer interface and rape human existence. But if you go there, you watch the 8-minute video, it shows how they can influence decisions remotely. So in the video, it shows them using a suit on, like a cap on their head, to be able to be connected. But I'll show you right now that what my screenshots from yesterday. I'm just gonna randomly click here on them, and I'll just go through all of them. This is pretty much from yesterday, I think. Okay, so, well, I guess I'm just going through my screenshots here, so I'm going to get through the part where the brain-computer interface with the biomolecular communication. So anyways, after I got my COVID shot, they gave me asthma in my 40s, and my asthma has since disappeared. So how likely is that somebody would get asthma in their 40s, first of all, and then have it disappear within a year? Right, so they said, well, it is unusual for asthma to be diagnosed in your 40s and completely disappear within a year. So this is where AI overview right here, people influencing it to basically lie. So right here, brain-computer interface, sometimes called a brain-machine interface, is a system that allows direct communication between the brain and an external device. So let's see, so you can see where it says like control external devices like computers or prosthetic limbs or basically another human body. So the brain is made up of 73% of water, so that means that we're conductive. And while most conductive materials can transmit or record sound or images, they don't inherently encode them. They primarily act as a medium for carrying electrical signals that represent sounds or images. Specialized devices are needed to convert the sound waves and information into electrical signals and then decode those signals back into the original form. So it's basically, if you might be familiar when like in the 90s, right, they used to have zip files where you'd take a big file, you'd make it small like in a zip file, then it would be extracted at a different location. So that's basically what they're talking about. So while it's not currently possible with today's technology, the concept of encoding a sound on an image and then decoding it with brain-computer interface using technology is a fascinating area of research. So that they lied. Like that was how my original search was, and I'll prove with my follow-up screenshots that I was able to search on the internet and articulate it in a way that it was to be able to tell me that with nanotechnology, biomolecular encoding and decoding communication is possible. And then you're able to encode sounds and images with those type of communications. So yes, nanotechnology can encode messages. It involves molecules to represent and transmit information. The process is known as molecular communication. This differs from traditional communication methods that use electromagnetic or sound waves. So right here, yes, nanotechnology is capable of decoding messages primarily through its application of biomolecular communication and brain-computer interfaces. So you can see how I had artificial intelligence contradict itself by just how I was able to search on the internet. Because you can't just be like, hey, does the government listen to our thoughts? And in Canada, there's a freedom of thought specifically because they know this technology is possible, right? George Orwell wrote a book called 1984 in 1949 about the thought police. So they've been able to listen to your thoughts for your entire life, basically. Let's see. So right here, so this was a different search. I'm like, okay, so can subliminal image change your brain and behavior? And then so this research did show that, like basically what they do, like if they want to make somebody change their sexual orientation, they just show somebody very attractive. Like if they like I like women, right? So if they wanted to try to make me gay, when they would show me a man, they would superimpose a very attractive woman behind her, and then I would see her with my mind's eye. So I think the man would be attractive, and that's what they do to me. Like so, anytime they elicit, like I'm not gay, and I would never be gay, but if I look at a man and I smile, it's because they show usually my ex-wife's vagina, right? Because I was with her for 13 years, right, and I had sex quite frequently with her, so I'm quite familiar with it. So usually they use her vagina to elicit a positive response from my psyche. So here you can see, this is no gray stubble. This is a video I posted, and you can see how there's no gray stubble on the bottom or underneath my chin. And right here you can see how that's all black stubble. There's no you see it's all black. It's all black. It looks like a bunch of blackhead pimples because the stubbles were coming in really dark. And on this side specifically, you can see that they're all black, and compared to right now. So I'll just show you right here. I'll just show you right there. You can see how much white hair I have underneath my chin now, and that was ever since a patient came. Like, first of all, I was supposed to have a hearing on July 26th, and so Dr. Ogbonna, who I call Stupido, Dr. Ogbonna. But anyways, and I go by the moniker Smarticus. My name's Erik Meyer, so you can see how I got wrinkled on film here. So Stupido, Dr. Ogbonna doesn't like that, so he uses brain-computer interface to make me wrinkled. So watch, I'm going to disconnect him and recover. Wow, I did it on film. And once again, with the Mobi Zen, I'm not able to have any anti-wrinkle features on film. So Dr. Ogbonna, why are you trying to age me on film? How is that ethical? Right? How is that ethical? Anyways, you shouldn't be offended. You shouldn't be paying attention to me. I'm not streaming this online. Right? In the Canadian government, like the Canadian public is going to go, like, this is the psyche of the Canadian public when they find out that doctors listen to their patients' thoughts and they violate and rape their human experience. Right, so you guys secretly put Canadians to death, right? It's going to be very easy because I'm going to be the true king of the United Kingdom. Like my half sister had lived on Princess Crescent. I had a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel that my mother-in-law gave us. I looked like Edward VIII. I looked like Princess Helena, who had a son named Christian Victor. She was Princess Christian. You know, my family went to a royal wedding, August 28th, 1871. I posted this in many of my videos, and I look like a lot of Queen Victoria's relative, like daughters and sons. And her Queen Victoria's uncle was Augustus Frederick, and he looks like me. And he was born on my grandfather's birthday. And on the back of the royal wedding, there was a guy named Colin Campbell. He was the field marshal of the British Army when they were the superpower in the world. So he was the most powerful guy in the army. And he was born on October 20th. And I'm born on October 20th. My first cousin was born on August 14th, and he died on August 14th. My mom died on August 13th. Here's some people pretend to be me right now. So anyways, I'm related to so many people that nobody has my blood concentration, right? All these imposters, right? Like, they have to be superimposed to look like me. So anyways, so I'll go back to my screenshots here. So anyways, I'm complaining about parasitic humans. Stephanie Meyer wrote a book about parasitic aliens. And so Canada in the 1976 Olympics, they finished 27th in the world in medal standings. I was born in 1977. Canada boycotted the 1980 Olympics. And so there's all this subliminal here. Canada boycotted the 1980 Olympics. And then 1984, they went to 6th place. So these are screenshots, right? This is in no random order here. I'm just going through my screenshots here from like an earlier point in yesterday to the very end of yesterday. So yes, encoded signals with sounds or images can be interpreted after decoding. Encoding is the process of converting information in a format suitable for transmission or storage, while decoding reverses this process, making them usable again. For example, in communication, encoding is turning thoughts into words or other signals, and then decoding them is the receiver interpreting those words. So once again, if a radio station basically transmits, so it encodes a signal on sound waves, right? And those sound waves travel to your radio receiver, which then decodes them, and then we hear the radio as sound. And a cathode ray TV is the same, like, could use the technology, and it's able to, you're able to see human thoughts with a cathode ray TV, that same type of technology. So once the radio was invented, like when Marconi invented the radio, people were basically able to tune in the human brain and hear thoughts. And then once Farnsworth invented the TV, people were able to see thoughts at that point. And then once the internet and computers happened, they were basically able to network thoughts. So Dr. Ogbonna, Stupido, said refusing blood is, he's like, his psychosis by refusing blood investigations. I'm being sarcastic here, and he wasn't able to recognize sarcasm in my videos, so it's a sign that he doesn't have a healthy mind. So anyways, so refusing blood in itself is not a direct sign of psychosis. So many people may refuse blood work due to fear of needles, fear of blood, or concerns about potential pain, bruising, or other adverse effects. So if you look down here, the main reason for me was potential of overdiagnosis and unnecessary treatment. I don't have any confidence in Dr. Ogbonna's medical capabilities. He said that my wrinkles disappeared because I was now hydrated. Oh, it's like, wow, how come old people have wrinkles, Dr. Ogbonna, Stupido? Right? How come old people have wrinkles? He thinks we're like Earth. Like Dr. Ogbonna must think like we're like Earth, when like the Earth gets cracked when it's dry. and it gets cracked, and then once it's hydrated and it rains, then those cracks disappear. So Dr. Ogbonna, how come on my videos I don't have any wrinkle filter? How come my wrinkles disappear? And once again, I showed with the brain computer interface and nanotechnology, biomolecular communication, that you're able to hijack a human body. Well, I haven't got to those screenshots yet, but I'll be able to show that you're able to hijack a human body. And with the band 100 US patent 9186071B2, I'll just show you that one. Well, I guess I'll come to it here, so I'll go back to here. Because Dr. Stupido, Dr. Ogbonna, is paying attention to Smarticus, Christian, Erik, Arne, Meyer. So anyway, so for him to say that, I have psychosis by refusing blood investigations, a fancy way of saying blood work, the guy is insane. So anyways, in one of my videos, he's like, his psychosis, he thinks because he's King's cars will not hit him. So I posted a video from 2019, and Dr. Ogbonna thinks that a video from 6 years ago would indicate my current mental health in 2025. That's how asinine or insane the man is. Because in the video, I'm like, I've been posting a lot of serious videos, and this one's not so serious. And then I changed my voice. I'm like, I'm going to stop those cars with my mind. So I was being sarcastic, and I had the camera out, and I'll just play the video real quick. I'll just play the video since I mentioned it. So anyways, it's a video from 2019, and if you look at the license plate, it was from Denmark. Right, and so he wasn't able to detect the sarcasm, and you'll see from a screenshot from Neural Image magazine from February 9th, 2024, that detecting sarcasm is a sign of a healthy mind. So he doesn't have a healthy mind, clearly, because he isn't able to detect sarcasm. So let's see right here. So it says right here, mentalist maybe or maybe not. So you can see where it says 6 years ago. Ignore not again. So it says 6 years ago, I have 589 views.
I've been posting a lot of serious videos, so I'm going to post one that's not so serious. I'm going to stop.
So I'm going to play it again, but I just want you to pay attention to a few things. So I'm just going to sum up the video for you. So you can see here how I'm on the road, and the cars were at a red light. I'm about 30 meters away from the red light, and you'll see that there's a Danish license plate. I was in Denmark at the time, and I was seeking asylum from Canada. In Canada, a side note, this was in 2019, and Canada lost $88 billion come 2020 because I sought asylum, and I'm the true king and my value to mankind. And so here's all the proof of that right there. That's how much Canada's lost historically for trying to sabotage me, in billions of dollars. So anyways, so watch how, once again, how I said, and most of my videos are serious, and this one's not so serious. And then listen how I changed the tone of my voice from when I said most of my videos are serious and not so serious. Listen how I changed the tone of my voice in being sarcastic. I didn't quite, this is 6 years ago, right? So I kind of evolved my personality, and I'm more comedic now. And my Smarticus voice is a lot more sarcastic, and I have leveled up my comedic ability, basically.
I've been posting a lot of serious videos, so I'm going to post one that's not so serious. I'm going to stop these cars with my mind.
So you could hear how I changed the tone of my voice. That's sarcasm. And you can see the Danish license plate. And the car wasn't even...
Here's some of that...
The car wasn't even concerned that I was going to hit them. They didn't even honk the horn. I had zero risk that my body was going to be hurt at that point. But in his words, I'm going to use it against him. I'm going to play this video. But in his words, he's like, well, he thinks he's king, and that the cars wouldn't hit him because my name is Stupido, Dr. Ogbonna. So anyways, this is why they keep me poor. In this video here, it's a 19-second video. It shows that I'm about, say, 25, 30 yards away. I throw a football in one attempt, and there's a soccer post, which is maybe, say, 4 inches in diameter. I hit the soccer post, and I was within 6 inches of my target left or right. My son was filming me. He paused it. I walked over, I grabbed the camera from him. My son walks over with a soccer ball. He was over 5 feet tall at the time, and he looks like he's about 3 feet tall in this video. That's how far back he was. He kicks it one time and he hits the soccer post. This is our evolved human biology. My dad at 17 years old, 16, 17 years old, he had an offer to try out for the Boston Bruins or some NHL team. He went partying and missed the flight. So he missed his opportunity to be in the NHL when there's only 6 teams. And his father turned down a professional baseball contract, presumably my official grandfather. But unofficially, I believe that Edward VIII might be my grandfather because I look identical to him.
Missionary talent. Here's me going bar down with the football.
So you can see me hit the post with my first attempt. Now this is my son with his first attempt. Look how small he is. He was over 5 feet tall at the time. So our goal was to hit that. I'll play this video now. So in this video here, I put a guy on a straight flush. So a straight flush, the odds of a straight flush are 1 in 72,193 or 92, depending on the source. And so in this particular scenario, there was 2 straight flush possibilities. There was 1 4-of-a-kind possibility. There was 3 full house possibilities. There was 6 straight possibilities. There was 1 3-of-a-kind possibility, and there was 3 2-pair possibilities. So there were 16 possible hands that the individual could have, and I was correct, and I put them on the right hand. The odds of me putting them on would be, say, 1 in 5,197,000,000 billion. So that's 5,197. And then 15 zeros afterwards. I'm just going to skip right up to the point here.
As much free things as I can. And then
I'll just give you this summarize it real fast. So I said, when I go to a new city, I try to do some free things. You go to the grocery store for one of your meals. If you don't get a free breakfast, you buy some, say bananas, they're cheap, or oranges, they're filling. Like if you have kids, like for like $5, you can have a breakfast for your kid, and then you have more money for entertainment.
Save money on food instead of going to restaurants. I go to the grocery store so I can do attractions.
So in this, at this particular point, there's I have a royal flush draw, so I had the potential for the best possible hand, and then I'll play you the rest of the video here, and you'll see how I put him on the king. You know, I didn't say the king of clubs, but I inferred that it was a straight flush because I had the nut flush. I had the best possible flush, which would have crushed any of the 6 straights. I would have destroyed and took all the money, and I said, I know I'm going to lose money because I knew he had the straight flush.
Restaurants every day, but at least one meal. It might be, if the hotel doesn't provide breakfast, it's like, okay, let's go to the grocery store and grab some bananas or some bread and royal flush draw. Let's see how this works out. It's only $2 I have to call because
So you can see how long I hesitated there. If you watch any of my videos, I snap call, and if I thought he had this straight, I would have instantly called because I would have bankrupted him. I would have took his money, but I knew that I was going to lose money, and this is real money. I lost real money intentionally because I was trying to get sponsored at that point, and you know, and I wanted to be able to show that I had the capabilities to put them on a straight flush, basically.
the nut flush, but I'm certainly because there's the straight flush and a 4-of-a-kind. So I think he might have the king. He had the king. So I would have folded if it was more than that, but I just wanted to show that I could put him on the king. If it was more than $2, I would have folded there because I knew that he had the straight flush. Because that's my luck.
So that was me put him on a straight flush, and so here, in this particular video, quantum computing type brain, it shows me I'm using 2 different parts of my brain without computers, and so I'm communicating and I'm doing math with part of my brain. It's one thing to like in school, right? They look on board, and they might talk and they're writing down the numbers that they're writing down, but they're not physically using another part of their brain to do math like I am in this video.
I'm going to write down any two numbers and simultaneously talk while I'm doing some math, and the numbers are going to be 78 times 48. So 78 times 48. So being able to think about my brain being the influence for quantum computing is very simple, because I'm able to do this because I have that genetic advantage that other people don't have. So very simply, I was able to come up with 3,744.
So that was correct. So now I'm just going to play this video real quick. Dr. Stupido, Dr. Ogbonna, he, my half-brother, well, not my half-brother, my real brother, Barry, he's dead now. Barry John Diggins Jr., he's dead. He died in 2021, pardon me. My dad, Barry John Diggins Sr., died in 2001. So my brother, Barry John Diggins Jr., and once again, with brain-computer interface and biomolecular communications, they were able to make me say the opposite of what I intended to say. But anyways, basically, Dr. Ogbonna went with my brother's testimony. My brother slandered me, basically, or with libel, defamation of character. Anyways, he said that I threw him down a dumpster in an apartment. So dumpsters in an apartment, they're big enough for a small bag. You can't put a big black garbage bag down a dumpster. If not, kids would be dying all the time. We lived on the 4th floor, so that was over 40 feet high. He had no lacerations, contusions, or broken bones, or any medical evidence that he was tossed down a dumpster. And this would have occurred when I was about 12 years old. So my brother brought up this story in 2020 when I was about 43 years old at that point, almost 43 years old, 42 years old. So they waited 30 years to say that I was psychotic. And once again, Dr. Stupido, Dr. Ogbonna, he thinks that refusing blood work is a sign of psychosis, and he's not able to detect sarcasm. And he tried to use the fact that I would have tossed him down a dumpster. I don't have a criminal record. I've never been convicted of any assaults or any assault causing bodily harm or attempted murders or second-degree murders, manslaughter, or anything that would be deemed psychotic, in my opinion. But he went with this diagnosis that I had psychotic tendencies, and I don't. Not without brain-computer interface or molecular communication and hijacking my human body to manipulate me. But anyways, this video shows that. So it shows that I'm just gonna fast forward to the video here because I kind of talk. You can watch the video. So you can see how, like, at this point.
He allowed me, but there was zero.
I'm gonna go back there. So you can see that that's me, Christian Erik. So look at my hand compared to the size of the garbage chute. So I was 12 years old at this time. I'm 2.5 years older than my brother when he was alive. I was 2.5 years older than him. So that means he would have had to allow me to put him in the garbage chute. And most garbage chutes, they have an angle on the plate. So it's not a big flat area where you can put things down. You have to push, you have to struggle to put a white bag through like if it's your white, like a small plastic bag is filled up too much, you have to struggle to push it through the garbage chute. That's how tight and narrow it is. It's impossible. Obviously, Dr. Ogbonna is not competent as an individual to think that somebody could be tossed down a garbage dumpster. You can see the angle right there. It's impossible for like a 10-year-old to be tossed down there. He would have had to climb in there. He would have had to try to do this, and he would have got stuck.
The garbage right there. So I was 12 when I moved out of here, and he was about 10. So maybe if.
So I'm just gonna go to the outside of the building. You'll see this is 83 building.
I'm just gonna get outside, and this is.
You can see that area. That is Gilder, and this is basically behind that building, right behind that building. That's Eglinton Avenue in Scarborough, Ontario.
This is Gilder. This is the building where we used to.
You can see where it says right there. You can see the 3. That was 83 Gilder. So I'll just scroll back a little bit here, and right back there.
Get inside here. This is Gilder. This is the building where we used to live.
You can see where it said 83 Gilder. So anyways, so now, well, I could go over the 3 ways to save civilization real fast. So 3 ways to save civilization, since most satellites, telecommunication satellites, they're so low that they don't have, they're not covered by the magnetic sphere, the magnetosphere, basically, to protect them from coronal mass ejections or solar flares. So by having a magnetic field around satellites that orbit Earth, you'd be able to protect it from coronal mass ejections or solar flares. So here's the people that are playing me in these videos, because people with that brain-computer interface, they play me, and then they recruit these kids, and then they violate those kids under my guise, because of how important I am to mankind. So another way to protect mankind, another way to save civilization, is planets in our solar system that orbit the sun with a different trajectory than Earth. We would be able to see asteroids that came from a different trajectory. So they have a different orbit than Earth, pardon me. And so if we had the satellites that had the magnetosphere or the magnetic field around it, it would protect it from coronal mass ejections. So just say like Saturn or Venus or Mars or what have you, they're orbiting sun in a different orbit than what we have on Earth. So we're going to see different trajectories of asteroids that head towards Earth. So the ones that are particularly dangerous are the ones, like, just say it's coming from my head's the sun. So if it's come from the sun, we have less than a few months to be able to deflect an asteroid from it not taking out our civilization and killing off the majority of animals on Earth, right? Because we have very little reaction time, right? So then a third way to save the planet is to use nanotechnology and to have it reflect some of the sun in the depleted region of the ozone, cooling the planet to the ideal temperature for biological life on Earth. So then I'll give you 5 ideas why on this. Like, so there's 3 ways to save civilization. So you can see with with brain computer interface, and with Stephanie Meyer, she wrote a book about parasitic aliens and how capable I am. Like I showed you the football video, I could jump kick an 8-foot ceiling, and I could do a scissor kick. I guess I'll play that video real fast. I'll tell you the innovations, because I have to hand my phone in about 10 minutes. But so there's 5, like, I'll tell you 5 reasons why I'm the smartest guy on the planet. These are 5 innovations that people could develop. I'm able to develop many innovations, and I don't really want to make money off of innovations that save people's lives. So I'd like to give them away, or help people. I'd rather not make money off them. So anyways, when people have hearing aids, they typically wear glasses because they're older, right? So whether they wear bifocals or what have you, they wear glasses. So what they could have is hearing aids built into the frames of those glasses, so they only have to wear 1 device rather than having 3 devices, right? With the glasses and then the 2 hearing aids that they would possibly need, right? So then that's one idea. So now on an ocean liner, when they're in the ocean, people can't drink salt water because the salinity of the water. So with a solar still, you basically take salt water, you'd pour it into the base, and then it would evaporate and condensate into drinking water, making people could drinking water while they're lost at sea. So then they could have a buoy in the center, which would kind of stabilize the raft, and then there could be some fishing equipment and a solar panel barbecue to be able to cook, right? So that would make it so people are more likely to survive while at sea. And then a third way to save people's lives is sharks are susceptible to electromagnetic signatures. So you could have a buoy around beaches that would have electromagnetic signature that would repel sharks. And then a fourth way to help people is once they take their prescriptions, there's a high tendency of them forgetting whether or not they took their prescriptions throughout the day, especially if they're geriatric, right? So that you could have a thumbprint system where you use your thumbprint, and then it's like, okay, you last took your prescriptions at, say, 8:15. And then you next have to take your prescription, your medication at 12:15, right? So it'll indicate whether or not people, so it prevent them from over-medicating themselves and overdosing potentially and having adverse side effects. So then a fifth way to save people is, to with basically, okay, so here it is. I'll just play the video here. This is the double get, and then I'll explain the 5th way in a second after. So I'm just going to turn it down because there's a song playing and I might get copyright infringement. So I'll play it again here. So this is my double kick. So I'm 6 feet tall. So these were 6 foot tall targets. So that's my double kick. That's basically if there were 2 assailants that were coming after me at once, I'd be able to double kick, knock them out to be able to go to perpetrators. So the 5th way for me to, once again, with schizoaffective disorder, I'm supposed to hallucinate and have delusions and then have disorganized thinking. So I'd be like, yeah, guys, let's talk about sharks, and then I want a color. Right? So you're supposed to lose your train of thought, right? So I went with 5 different ways that were phenomenally smart and how I'd save the planet, and I was on the 4th way. And now the 5th way is they show that I do have linear thinking and organized thinking, that I don't have schizoaffective disorder, which typically only women from 18 to 35 have, not 47-year-old men. And anyways, and so, but just say this is this cup here is a police cruiser, and the camera is somebody driving down the road that the police want to pull over, right? So now the cops are behind the people that they want to pull over. They'd have the sirens on, and then the sirens would automatically override the radio that would be in the car and be like, hey, you need to pull over. Because when you're driving down the road, you can be like, yeah, I'm listening to my music, I can't even hear the police, right? Because you're looking at your front windshield. You're not looking, unless you're changing lanes, you're not going to be looking into your mirrors too often, right? Because all the hazards are in front of you, not behind you, right? So you could drive for about 5-10 seconds even before you realize that the sirens are on. Like at nighttime, you'd be able to notice them more because you'd see the blue and red. But during the day, like, you're not going to see the change in the lights as easily as you would at nighttime, right? So by it overriding the radio, it'd be able to indicate that the police are there, they want to pull you over, and then you'd be able to do it, right? So now, should they not want to pull over and there's a moment for a high-speed pursuit, they would be able to override, like, since there's going to have taillights now on the back of the car, right? They would have to have taillights. And so the police siren lights would be able to override through that electrical signature and then commandeer and disable the engine, so it'd prevent high-speed pursuits. So they would also be able to do this now with the front, and if they were in front of the car, that was a high-speed pursuit was going to happen, they'd be able to use their taillights, and once again, their lights would be going on, right? So their flashing lights would be going on, and it would go through the headlights of the car, and then it would be able to disable the vehicle that way, and then, like, with basically some sort of electromagnetic pulse or what have you, that would disable the vehicle and prevent high-speed pursuits, because over 100 people in the United States are killed in high-speed pursuits every day. Right, so those are 5 ways, 3 ways to save civilization, and then 5 innovations that I just gave away to protect people. I did email and Dr. Stupido and Dr. Ogbonna and Stupido team. They're like, hey, he said something about a gun. So anyways, I posted a video online under Christian Meyer Diggins how the police could have a telescopic shotgun basically. So if, say they're but non-lethal rounds. So just say there's a bunch of people really downrange, you would have a long barrel shotgun, and then as they got closer, they'd be able to turn it into a sawed-off shotgun, so it'd be telescopic, and then it would have the range would go on a wider range, so the pellets would be able to be widely dispersed to be able to make it more survivable for the officers, so they wouldn't be overran in some sort of riot scenarios. So I also came out with Wi-Fi paper currency. So now just say this cup is a drug dealer, right? So here's the perpetrators right there. They're trying to, so those individuals that they just showed, they would never need to do that, right? Their pheromones are enough to make them a billionaire, so they would never have to resort to those type of, that necessity. They wouldn't have to be desperate, right? Like a cheetah, when it's thirsty, it knows there's alligators or crocodiles in the water, but a cheetah goes and has to drink water, right? So it risks its life to drink water, right? So these people that they try to show in subliminally, they never would have to resort to that if I was allowed to have my worldly possessions, and they would have been raised in a different environment. They've never even come across any of that. So anyways, so now just say like this house is the drug dealer's house. So now with Wi-Fi paper currency, like they would be like, okay, so it'd be encrypted on the internet. So all of a sudden the internet, like the police would, or the spies would be like, okay, wow, there's $300 that went to that house. Wow, another $300, right? So it paint the picture like, okay, there's criminality that's likely to occur at this house, because why is there all this money going to this house? But it would also stop bribes from politicians, and everybody knows that most politicians are crooked. Let's see if I get wrinkled when I say that. Are politicians mainly crooked? So once again, with brain-computer interface, I'm gonna disconnect everybody that's ugly, fat, beautiful, and skinny through me, and my face is gonna drop in 2 seconds when I tune them in. So once again, that's brain-computer interface, biomolecular communication that allows them to communicate with my brain and see my thoughts, and hear my thoughts and see my thoughts as images. And so nanotechnology could be absorbed in your skin by an injection. You can feel a little prick, or transdermally. You can feel a dab of liquid on your skin, like it might not be raining, or somebody might cough across the room, but you'll feel something on your skin. And that could be nanotechnology installed that way. And you could eat it to get it ingest it, or you could drink it to get it in your body, or you could inhale it, right? So, and it's able to commandeer the soft tissue in your brain, which is mainly made up of water. So I think I've got a few more videos, minutes here. I'm gonna go through the rest of my screenshots here. So once again, serious. So let's see what else. Oh, that was the last of it. Oh, so here we go. A study published by the journal Neural Image Magazine reveals that recognizing sarcasm signals a healthy brain. And so once again, ignore non-organic, and then showing Dr. Ogbonna's unhealthy brain and his lack of ability to recognize sarcasm. So brain-computer interface for robot control. Brain BCI input is the brain signals that carry informative neural features. So when I couldn't speak there, that was Dr. Ogbonna Stupido trying to hijack my brain and prevent me from being able to communicate. So anyways, neural features recorded by electrodes either in the brain or on the head. So once again, with nanotechnology, it could be in the brain. And so it doesn't need to be on your head, but the head, like with some sort of rape suit is what I call them. So yes, nanotechnology particles can be absorbed in the body through eating, drinking, and breathing. Nanoparticles can enter through various routes, including ingestion, inhalation, and even skin penetration. Once inside, they could potentially travel to different organ tissues, including sensitive areas like the brain, bone marrow, or lymph nodes. So yes, radio transmissions encode a sound wave, and then radio receivers decode and receive it. So basically, with nanotechnology, biomolecular communication, it doesn't rely on it communicates differently than sound waves, but it does the same thing. So in the Canadian Charter of Rights, there is freedom of thought. And once again, George Orwell wrote a book, 1984, I'll just show you here. Wrote a book, 1984, about the thought police. So should be a good way to end the video here. So I'm just going to show you here. So when I went to the CCB here in the Consented Capacity Board hearing, the second time, my lawyer voted in favor for me, and but they decided to base it on hearsay. And when I looked online, hearsay is only admissible when the defendant corresponds or collaborates, basically, the information. So let's see, George Orwell, let's see, dystopian novel. So I'll just help out the search here. Thought Police. And a Minority Report with Tom Cruise also was the same kind of thing about precog. Basically, people, if you're about to commit a murder, they were able to see that was going to happen, and they were able to stop it from occurring. So George Orwell's 1984, the Thought Police, the secret police force in Oceania responsible for identifying and punishing thought crimes and dissenting or unorthodox thoughts against the party. So basically, Cheap Trick came out with a song called The Dream Police, and they're able, and this is proof that, there's proof right there that the Liberal Party rigged the last election. I was in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario at the time, and they said I'd never seen one, and they're always hacking my camera to try to get other people on film, and there's no other people on film, and so my camera every time was facing me, so it's strange that when I pulled it up that it'd be facing away. So this is proof that they hacked my camera to make it show away, to try to get patients on my camera, because it's a violation of the privacy of having other people on film. So anyways, on April 28th, 2025, there was signs for Terry Sheehan. I never seen one sign saying Mark Carney. If not, I would have voted for my daughter to become Prime Minister. She's the most capable woman on the planet. She's 22 years old, and she's brilliant. Every time I speak to her, I learn something different, because I'm a man, so I only ever think from a man's perspective first, right? But then I try to be empathetic and think from a female perspective, but I'm a man, right? So, I pee standing up. I don't pee sitting down. So I would, like, if it was something that would be from women as well, you'd be like, hey, that would be pee sitting down, right? You pee standing up, so you got to kind of understand it, whatever. So she'd be able to help me understand these things. So I'll just show you here how my son, this was from a few years ago, and how he, I'll just show you a few things here. Well, here's the thought. This is about Stephanie Meyer, the same last name as mine, Meyer, parasitic aliens. I'm talking about parasitic humans. And then this one real quick, I just seen these images here. So here's generation 1 biology. This is a white man, and you can see the indentations. Over 3 million, so over 3 billion men have this type of biology. Here's my son's biology. He has generation 1 biology. He's a white man, and there's only one man with generation 1.5 biology on the planet. Pardon me. His name's Chase Smolder. That's not his real name, but his name's Chase, but I call him Smolder because he's very attractive. He looks like Tommy Morrison from Rocky 5, identical to him. So it's fantastic. I got to see Tommy Morrison, and he looked identical. Like, my son looks identical to him. So my son's only 19, going to be 20, but Tommy Morrison in the video was, like, in the movie, was about, say, 30. So I got to see what my son would look like at 30 years old, like identical to him. And my son has generation 1.5 biology because I have generation 2 biology, and I made it with a woman that had generation 1 biology. It resulted in my kids that had generation 1.5 biology. So you can see this is my biology. My name is Erik Meyer. I'm white, and I have to say this because brain computer interface, people now pretended that I was black, and I'm not black. And you see how I have a V on my back muscles, the musculature. And once again, this is generation 1 biology. You can see this white man has indentations in his back muscle structures, which were clearly different than the other 2 men. So I'm the only man on the planet with generation 2 biology, and my son's the only man on the planet with generation 1.5 biology. And so, I see this here. This is the band 100, the U.S. patent 918-60712, but you can see how it has the EEG, that's the electroencephalogram. This is the electrocardiogram, ECG. You can see the toxins, implants, blood pressure, hearing, vision, and then glucose. And it could all be medical data. It could be transmitted over a cell phone. You can see the antenna on the cell phone. So this is from the 90s. So with nanotechnology, this would be easier to be transmitted into and received here. So there was one other thing. I'm trying to rush through this here. So I'm just going to show you. Okay, I don't see the picture yet. So anyways, before I got to the Syria hospital, this is what my stomach looked like. I had a 6-pack, and you can see my unique abdominal muscles in this picture. So they made me gain a lot of weight, so I couldn't prove that I had unique muscles. So I'm just going through the pictures here. So this is what I looked like at 19. This is what George VI looked like. This is King Charles's grandfather. You can see how I look identical to the man. And this is me at 19. And this is the second last Russian Tsar. You can see the strong resemblance. And once again, here, my family went to a royal wedding. You can see we're the 28th of August. And then at the bottom, this is 1871, Princess Louise. It says right there, Princess Louise. And my family's, they were named Campbell at the time. And on the back of the wedding invitation, my official grandfather's name is Jack, and he was there's a name Colin Campbell. So when I searched Colin Campbell, I seen a picture that looked like my mom's brother, me and my dad, and he was born on October 20th. I was born on October 20th. He died August 14th. My mom's brother, Uncle John, his son Justin was born on August 14th, and my mom, Bridget Ula Meyer, died on August 13th. So let's see the chicken for the egg. I'm just going to go through the screenshots here. So here's so people can't hear dogs frequencies. So Frederick Myers coined the term telepathy. My last name is Meyer once again. So here's a letter from my lawyer here. I'll just read it real fast, and then I'm going to hand in my phone. But so Mrs. Lukens, yes, I'll keep it brief. I'd like the board to note that my client is not a risk at harming himself or others, and that evidence supporting serious physical impairment may not arise to the level of being clear, cogent, or compelling in order to keep him under the grounds of Box B. Defer to the evidence given to my client that was very fulsome today on behalf of my client, Christian Erik Arne Meyer. It says Christian Meyer there, but they try to pretend that there's other people. And I was born in 1977. I asked the board to revoke his involuntary status. Right, so like that was a letter from the lawyer, and they ended up basing it on hearsay. So here's what I wanted to show you. So this is from my son. This was about 2017. Dad, in my English class, sometimes my eyes turn red and blue. Only in my English class. because they've been using, so once again, I'll just show you here. They've been using brain-computer interface to hijack and violate me and my kids and justify rape in our human experience because we have evolved biology and they do scientific experimentation on us. So you can see right here, there's a subliminal image, and once again, this proves right there, July 17, 2025, that I, Christian Erik, Arne, Meyer, do run the system, and that was in Toronto, Ontario. And these are the different frequencies of emotion that people broadcast into people's brains, and to be able to justify raping them. And so this was my mucus from yesterday. You can see this was white, this was clear, and there's a green speck right here. There's a green speck right there, and you see how it's all reflective. That's the nanotechnology that was left over in my mucus from the compounds that the Canadian government puts in. So you can see this was at 10:35 a.m. My nurse yesterday was Mary. I said, hey, could I get my cell phone? I want to take a picture of my mucus because my mucus changes. Nobody should have green mucus at the same time, clear mucus at the same time, and white mucus at the same time simultaneously. I have specks of green mucus, I have specks of white mucus, and then I have mainly clear mucus. And so here is later on that day, I'll just show you. So this is July 16th, 2025 at 9:23 p.m. And you can see how the white mucus dissolved and the green mucus dissolved. And there's still reflective areas from the nanotechnology particles that are in my mucus. And this happens every morning. The thing is, they don't allow me to get my cell phone until 9:30 in the morning, but I get up at like around 7, right? So I blow my nose when I first get up, and then by the time I get my cell phone, usually the compounds that they put in my mucus dissolve. So I wanted to have my cell phone to take a picture, and the Sioux Area Hospital, for my CCB hearing, they don't allow me to print up evidence. There's 2 computers in the activity room. They don't, at first they allowed me to print up evidence, but the last time they didn't allow me to print up evidence. And with brain computer interface, people listen to my thoughts. So I misinformed them. I'm like, well, hey, I have a meeting on July 8th and at 8 a.m. So when I got the worker before, the attendant, his name's Rob, I got him to charge my phone, but he didn't charge my phone. So when I woke up on July 8th, I had 1% battery. And here's proof this is proof that they used my phone. I had to change my password because they were able to access my phone, because with brain computer interface, they're able to see my password, and then they were able to access it. The other day when T was working, she tried to enter my password in 5 times and it failed. It said password incorrect 5 times. But here's a secret file that I get them to take pictures of all the perpetrators that access my phone. I, Christian Erik, Arne, Meyer, have my phone. I don't share my phone with anybody. I pay for my phone, my chatter internet service, and they can't hide their culpability anymore. I have so much proof online. In this video, I showed how smart I am. So, well, first of all, I wrote I'll tell you one thing real fast. So here's the lyric to one of my songs that I wrote. It's like, oh, Canada, I got that PhD in seduction, make your body start erupting. I want to be that legend between your thighs. So went away, I can't sleep at night. I'm sweet as Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Once I get in your legs, you'll see what I mean. You'll feel my words like man-made thunder. You feel my gyrations as I work my lumber. So that's my hip-hop song. So there's the perpetrators that pretend to be me. And then, so now, here's a funny song. She started wearing grandma panties like her ass died. And I cried like a million times. What did I do to that ass? We used to have a blast. You dressed like a midlife crisis. Why do you make me feel lifeless? You wear your hair like you don't care. So anyways, you can see how talented I am. And I double my money in the stock market in 16 days. And the rule of 72, it takes 7.2 years to double your money. And in a real money stock game, I doubled my money in 1 day. But with real stocks, you just because you sell, people don't want to buy. So I got ripped off in Innovation before. I got ripped off of Fourplex before, and I've had to beg for change in Canada. And I got kicked out of my place, and I didn't have reasonable enjoyment of my last residence. So I get to sue my landlord. And in Ontario, I have 2 years to sue them, and so I get to sue them until September 2026. Right. So I've been icing the kicker, and in football, when you ice the kicker, when they're getting ready to make the kick, the other team's like, I'm gonna blow timeout, and then make it so they're not ready, right? So I'm icing the kicker, so my landlord thinks I'm not gonna sue him, and then I'm gonna curveball and then sue him when he least expects it. Because you know what happens? By me waiting 2 years, he was able to pay off more of his mortgage, so I'm gonna get more money from him. I'm a smart guy. Once again, I go by the moniker Smarticus versus Stupido, Dr. Ogbonna, and team at the Sioux Area Hospital who suffer from foliosis because they are fools.